Hi, Daff.
Hi, Mom. Get closer to your microphone like you tell me to
I'm like right
get.
here. Should we do something different instead of hi, we're back?
No, that's my signature.
Okay. Like,
we're back. Yes, it's my intro and my outro.
Okay.
Maybe you should find your own personalized one.
I just say hi, Daff.
Yeah, maybe you should figure out something different.
Nope, that's my own personal one.
Hi, ding dong.
Shit. All right, well, shall we?
Yeah, California. Some weird fucking laws in California.
And I have Snoop Dogg in my head now.
Snoop Dogg. Da, 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 da. Okay, so I have this list I've been reading off of, and I was trying to find more explanations for why things are the way that they are on this list. And I'm really coming up short for why things are the way that they are on this list. And so why things are the way that they are on this list is hard to find for California for whatever reason, because everything I find is broken down by city. I can't find anything that's just like a whole thing of state. Mm-hmm. And if the one that I found that was a whole thing of the state laws, they had no explanation for why things are the way that they are.
They just are.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it.
Okay, so there's this one that's you can't eat oranges in the bathtub because apparently the chemical reaction between oranges and bath juice are not good.
Gross.
I meant if you're putting oil in there, or if you're putting soap, bubble bath bombs, bath salts, whatever you're putting in there, apparently the chemical reaction. But I didn't see any cases where it actually happened and anyone got injured. So I'm confused.
Can you be arrested for said infraction?
I suppose it's a law, right?
Yeah.
At least you could have a citation for it. It's illegal to set a mouse trap without having a hunting license.
The fuck?
You can't lick toads.
Okay.
I feel like that's fair for the toads.
Yeah, for the toads.
Well, it's because people are oh, maybe if I lick a toad, I'll trip.
Yeah, because, yeah.
Yeah, no. Especially not the ones in California. You'll just get scabies. You're just going to get warts.
Right?
That's all.
Gross.
Actually, I think
warts.
that's disproven that you get warts from
Probably.
toads. But anyway, another one that I read was women are not allowed to leave the house and drive in a house coat.
Well, that's not cool.
Yeah. But there's another one that's equally as good against men, that they can't go around acting like they're in a frat or use their frat garb or whatever to get them anything.
That's good.
Yeah.
A 60-year-old man, I'm in
Delta Felta Sci-Bi.
So you need 20% off this bong.
Right. Basically, there's a city where women can't wear heels within the city limits because of sidewalk injury. And I was like, well, are they afraid of the sidewalk getting injured or the person?
Right.
That one was a little confusing to me. You can't wear cowboy boots unless you own at least 2 cows.
Okay.
One for every boot.
Right. 1 cow for each boot.
Yeah, basically.
That's so dumb.
Yeah. I don't know why that one exists. There's one about,
it's a fashion
apparently
law.
There's frog jumping contests at state
Calabasas
parks.
County.
Yeah. The Jubilee.
Uh-huh.
And if a frog dies during its jump, you're not allowed to eat it. It has to be destroyed.
That's probably fair.
Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah, well, I mean...
But it's obviously a law because someone got sick or something.
Probably, because the frog probably died from some kind of underlying disease. And then somebody was like, oh, well, it's dead. I'm just going to go ahead and have me some frog legs. And then the person got really sick. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's fact.
In California, state, government buildings, it's against the law. It's against their regulations to let the phone ring more than 9 times, which is pretty cool if you're trying to get a hold of someone. It's
yeah.
I'm 9 rings in. I'm going to fucking file a lawsuit. Nobody's picked up the phone. It's illegal to cry on the witness stand.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I've seen
one?
some court cases in California where people were crying on the witness stand.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody is allowed to ride a bike in a swimming pool in one county.
Okay. If the swimming pool's empty or full?
I don't know.
Unspecified.
I couldn't find, like I said, I was having a really hard time. It was according to state law, blah, 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 or state bill, blah, 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 blah. This is it.
Right. I bet it's empty because using them for jump parks instead of jump parks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. There's some weird laws in California. The more I kept diving. Oh, yeah. This one right here. You're not allowed to wear false whiskers. just in case you're trying to run from the police wearing whiskers. And they're like, that must not be Joe Schmo. He has whiskers.
And Joe Schmo didn't have whiskers 5 minutes ago.
Right. Oh, this was a good one. I did like this one. That this is a law for a good reason, because in train times, more heavily trained, trains, like transport through trains and all that times.
Yes.
People cleaning the trains. Apparently, the people that were in charge, like the supervisors, just used to give the people to clean their dirty clothes.
Oh, fuck.
So they had to provide clean stuff to clean with, like clean rags or a clean sock, if you will.
Oh, I thought you meant that they gave them their like dirty clothes, like they had to wash them as part of cleaning the train.
No, they had to clean like with
the
their
dirty clothes. Okay, yeah.
Which is even worse.
It is even worse.
You're not allowed
Here are my
to...
dirty underwear. Use these on the window.
Right. You're not allowed to take whales.
To prom? Or...
To anywhere.
Okay.
To the movies, to dinner, none of it. It's just like you're not allowed.
Okay.
Or any marine life for that matter.
Okay.
Oh, this one was interesting. So we have in Colorado, a lot of like craft beer places.
Fucking
and apparently
we
that
do.
started in California, the trend of craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a law that people aren't taking advantage of. If you're actually like a brewery owner, there's a law that says that they can't sell them by like wagons. Like you can't have like one of those like drinking tour things with craft beer, but nobody's actually like sued over that law.
Mm-hmm.
But that law exists. So kind of interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. In garages in Long Beach, you could only put a car in a garage. Like you can't use it as like a workshop or anything like that.
Well, that's tragic.
Yep. Yeah, really, that's it.
Where did the term garage band come from if you can't use your fucking garage?
I don't know. Not in Long Beach. Anywhere else, I'm sure is fine, except for places where it's not.
Right.
Oh, yeah. You also like can't walk an elephant in San Francisco.
That seems fair.
Yeah, don't take your elephant for a walk.
Yeah.
Having more than 2 cats or dogs in San Jose is against the law. Peacocks have the right of way in Arcadia.
That's fair.
I like that one. Homeowners may be fined $250 if they don't remove Christmas lights by February 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty strict. They're like, get your Christmas out of here.
Right.
Flying a kite higher than 10 feet off the ground is prohibited in Walnut. Carrying breads or cakes or pastries in open baskets or exposed containers is illegal in San Francisco.
That's probably fucking smart.
Yeah, because gross.
Yeah.
San Francisco's gross.
Yeah, it's dirty.
In San Francisco, any person classified as ugly may not walk legally down any street. Hang on, I didn't even read this one.
She just scrolling, saying random shit.
Well,
Hold,
I
please.
didn't catch this one before when I was looking at them. Oh, because they're considered beggars. Apparently, they're just
So ugly people are
laws.
beggars.
Yep. That reminds me of my favorite quote from Eva Longoria in Desperate Housewives. The Constitution doesn't protect ugly people.
Nice.
I was thinking the other day, I was like, I need to go get a tattoo, some Desperate Housewives quote tattooed, because it's my favorite show in the entire world.
For sure.
Oh, with an apple with the quote of some kind.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Or just with their initials. That might be weird.
That'd be fucking weird as shit. Get it on your heart. Over your heart.
They are my heart. They're my friends.
Yeah, okay.
They are.
Like Sig and Maya.
Don't talk shit about my high school. Don't talk shit about Degrassi.
Degrassi High, where Daphne hung out with all of her friends.
Okay, what do you have?
Okay, this is what I
Because
have.
we're 10 minutes in on me rambling on California laws, which is actually probably the shortest one yet.
California.
Down to party. Or does it knows how to party? Something party.
Yeah.
California.
Something. No.
Party.
All right.
In the city.
You ready for this? Beulah George Tann, known as Georgia, was
he was a guy.
she was a girl.
Beulah?
Beulah's a girl's name.
Beulah George?
Beulah George Tann, known as Georgia, was born July 18th, 1891 in Philadelphia, Mississippi, to Beulah Isabella and George Tann. So apparently her parents named her after themselves.
Okay.
Not at all narcissistic. Nope.
No.
And they don't even name her Georgia. They're like, nope, we're just going straight George.
Just George.
Dad's name is George. We're going straight George. Okay. Her father was a judge with a, quote, domineering personality, and he wanted Georgia to be a concert pianist.
Pianist?
Pianist. A pianist.
A pianist?
A pianist.
I feel like that sounds weird. A pianist?
That's a pianist.
A pianist.
So
Piano? And it's not a
he
piano.
wanted her to play
It's
the
not a-
piano in concerts.
It's not a piano.
It's a pianist.
I think that's weird. That's a weird way to say it.
Okay, look, Google it.
Okay, let's Google it.
Okay, pause.
Pause it.
Pianist.
Just sounds weird. Pianist.
Well, okay, don't get too hung up.
I'm very hung up on that. That's a stupid way to say that word.
Okay, well, alrighty then. So, okay.
Concert
A
pianist.
concert pianist. So, starting at the age of 5, she started taking piano lessons. Georgia Tann was a chancellor of the 2nd District of Mississippi for 27 years, which a chancellor, it means he's a judge. But the term chancellor is now outdated. But at the time, that's what he was called, was a chancellor. A chancellor presides over court cases without a jury, so they're solely responsible for the outcome of the cases that they preside over.
Okay.
The Tann home in Hickory, Mississippi was a gathering place for the neighborhood. So everybody went and hung out there. It was great. It was cool. Georgia Tann would often bring home children who were wards of the court because they had either been abandoned or taken from their home for neglect or abuse.
That's sad.
He was known to say that he needed a minister, a school teacher, and a doctor to figure out what to do with the kids. But with the children, he called them the children.
Well, that's nice that he brought them home, but it's sad that they're fucked otherwise.
Yeah. Pretty much. So Tann spent years watching her father try to help children, and her life of privilege made her want to pursue a career in social work. So she graduated from Martha Washington College with a degree in music in 1913 because, daddy wants music. She took classes at Columbia University for 2 consecutive summers studying social work, but what she really wanted to do was to be a lawyer.
I'm going to say a serial killer.
No, yeah, well,
What she really wanted to do was murder.
yeah. So her father helped her learn and read up on the law, and then she was able to pass the bar exam in Mississippi. But in spite of his encouragement and helping her to learn the law and stuff, her father didn't want her practicing law because it wasn't something women did in those days. In the South especially, it was frowned upon because it just wasn't ladylike to be a lawyer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't drive around in a house coat either.
No. Tann decided to go into social work because at the time that was an acceptable
This is
career
what,
for
like
women.
the 1910s?
It's probably, what did I say? She graduated in 1913. So by 1915, 1916, somewhere in there.
1910s.
1910s, the teens, the 19 teens.
The 19 teens.
Yes.
Aw, the teen teens.
Teen teens. So at the time, social work was considered to be an acceptable career for women. And it seemed to her family that she had basically no desire to get married or have children or anything. So they're like, cool, be a social worker, get a job. Because obviously you're not going to be a family woman.
So, did any of these kids that they brought home end up becoming step siblings and stuff like that? Is that why she was wanting to please her dad so much?
No,
Okay.
no. They just were in and out of the house. He would,
they're
something would
fostered.
happen and he would bring them. And then, foster would pick them up or whatever.
Okay.
So she briefly worked as a social worker in Texas, but she left pretty quickly and then she returned to Mississippi, but not before she adopted a little girl in 1922 who she named June Ann. And I think she was a baby when she adopted her, but I couldn't really find that, but I think she was a baby.
Okay, that's cute.
When she returned to Mississippi, she started working at the Kate McWillie Powers Receiving Home for Children in Jackson, Mississippi. Ann Atwood,
I'm nervous about where this is going.
Ann Atwood, yeah, you should be.
I have a very sinking, gross feeling in my stomach right now.
You should. I'm surprised you've never heard of this because it's pretty awful and it's pretty, I don't know how to say it. It spanned decades, this shit that went on, but not in our lifetime, but still, it was a big deal. So Ann Atwood worked at the home as a house mother. Ann was the daughter of a Tann family friend, and she'd recently given birth to a son. Ann was unmarried, and so she added Hollinsworth to her name to most likely give the impression that she was widowed because at the time, obviously being an unwed mother wasn't cool.
Right.
So while working at the receiving home during the fall and winter months, Tann also worked as a teacher in Itabina, Mississippi.
Itabina, Mississippi.
Yeah, so I just don't know if there wasn't a lot going on that she like also left that town and Jackson, which is a big city, to go to this little town and teach. So I don't know, or if it was like her own community service or what, but she did.
Okay.
In 1924, she was forced to resign from the receiving home and she was banned from practicing social work in Mississippi altogether for her unethical methods of removing children from their homes and her questionable placement of children after they were taken from their homes.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah, she's something.
So she hates kids.
Yeah, basically.
Even what about her own kid?
Yeah, there was a quote that her granddaughter said that her mom said to her that she didn't know why she had adopted her because she was a cold fish and she never like spent time with her or hung out with her or did like mother-daughter stuff.
At least she wasn't with her then. She didn't influence her.
What do you mean?
If she didn't hang out with her ever.
Oh, yeah,
then
yeah,
at least she wasn't.
But she wasn't like parental. She just had her.
Right. That's what I'm saying. At least, I don't know.
At least she didn't fuck her up.
I feel like I'd rather be provided for by someone like this than be like, oh, this is my
Influenced
mom.
by-
This is my best friend. What the fuck just happened? Or be like super abused by someone like this and be like, God, is my mom killing other people?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I feel like she has the happy medium of that then.
I don't know. I guess it can go one way or the other. It's still a form of abuse.
Yeah. No, neglect is also abuse, but I think I'd rather be neglected in this case.
Neglected
Neglected and provided for.
Right. Neglected in a good environment.
Yeah.
With her father's help, she was able to get the position of executive secretary of the Shelby County branch of the Tennessee Children's Home Society, which was the largest branch in the state. So she moved to Tennessee with June Ann and Ann's infant son, Jack, and she began working for the Tennessee Children's Home Society, which
what?
Wait, what? Yeah.
What? Can you repeat all of that? I didn't know June Ann had a kid at this point.
No, June Ann is her adopted daughter.
Uh-huh.
And Ann is that chick that was the house mother at that place in Mississippi that she was working when she got banned from it.
So
and
are they together?
And yes, and Ann had her infant
well, you didn't
son, Jack.
say that she's...
Well, yeah,
you didn't say that she's in that not only is she a shitty social worker, she's double dipping at work and screwing the house mom.
Yeah, well...
you didn't say that.
Because it's taboo, and so...
yeah, but it happened, and we're in 2026 presenting a case.
It does happen, but I didn't need to say that they're a couple, because as soon as I say she moved to Tennessee with June Ann, and Ann's infant son, basically I'm saying they're a family.
Okay, well, I
don't need to say she was bebopping.
Why couldn't you...
with Georgia Tann, with the...
Yeah, but
Ann.
you just coming out and saying it.
I know, so you could be like, wait, what?
Okay,
Repeat
so that's
that
why you did it. Okay, got it. Got it.
So she began working for the...
You wanted the surprise.
Surprise! The Tennessee Children's Home Society, which I'm probably going to start calling the TCHS instead of saying the whole fucking thing.
Okay.
Because I was calling it the Society, and I'm like, that just sounds weird. So, because in my notes I had Society, and I'm like, well, that's very
That's
creepy.
a great show on Netflix.
So almost immediately...
There we go again. She said so and flicked herself in the lip. So it's not my fault for the laughter. I would have never even noticed that she said it had she not flicked herself in the lip afterward.
Almost immediately, she began trafficking children.
I'm sure I do it equally as bad.
Traffic children? Say the word so.
Say the word so.
Okay.
Not traffic children. I typically tend to, not be around children ever.
Let alone traffic them.
Yeah.
In 1929, she staged a takeover or a coup using her political connections to take over as executive director, and she held that position from 1929 until 1950.
Okay.
Adoption costs were around $7 in the state of Tennessee, which was in line with local adoption fees in the state of Tennessee. Tann was arranging out-of-state adoptions for which she charged a premium of as much as $5,000.
Wow.
And she pocketed...
That's a lot at that time, I'm guessing.
Yeah. She pocketed 80%.
It's a lot today, but it's nothing for adoption today.
And of course, she pocketed a ton of that money.
Not surprised.
80% of these adopted children went to California or New York. According to some records, the agency placed 3,000 children in those states alone.
Wow. Did they really go there, though?
Yeah, they
Dun,
did.
dun, dun.
No, they did, but it gets bad. It's bad.
Did they go to good homes?
Some of them.
Okay.
Okay, Tann surrounded herself with a network of people who helped her who helped her obtain. Because
Yes.
apparently I can't say the word procure, even though I wrote it. I was able to spell it. Can't pronounce it. Babies and children. She paid social workers, doctors, nurses, law enforcement officers, lawyers, including her own lawyer, Abe Waldauer. Yeah, Abe Waldauer, yes.
Good old Abe.
Yeah. Yeah. And corrupt officials to identify, steal, and sell children.
Ooh.
Desirable, quote, desirable newborns were stolen from maternity wards, prison infirmaries, and the state mental hospital.
This woman's crooked as fuck.
And I just heard when I was watching something, because I wanted to include something at the end, which we'll get to, but I heard that there was this one woman in the mental hospital that had a kid basically every year, and they would take that kid from her every year. And of course they don't know who the dad is. They don't have any background other than their mom is in a mental institution. So yeah. Lovely. Older children were snatched off the streets of poor neighborhoods and rural areas where they were given false birth certificates and made up stories of their past.
Have you ever seen the show Ratched?
No.
About Nurse Ratched, and it's got like Sarah Paulson and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
I'm just picturing these conditions at said asylum, and that show is kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. You should A, watch that show. I think you would really enjoy it, and B, I'm like, it's probably really easy to do that, unfortunately.
Oh, probably. It was
okay.
Clearly
given the fact that American Horror Stories director, whatever, I'm totally blanking on his name. But
Evan Peters.
No, that's the actor. That's in all of it.
Yeah.
No, whatever the Mike something, I think. And it doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. My point is that he paints shit very historically accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking about how easy it would have been to...
Oh, yeah. Conditions at that time in facilities like that were no good. And there was really no regulation,
Right.
So it just was what it was.
It's so sad.
It is so sad. Alma Walton and Regina Wagner worked for Tann and would travel every 3 weeks with 4 to 6 babies. Walton went to California and Wagner went to New York. They met prospective parents in hotels, and most of the people were wealthy, and they would make their check out to Tann, not to the TCHS, just to Georgia. And she would charge for background checks, which she never ran, highly inflated travel costs, and adoption paperwork at several times the actual cost. The money was deposited into secret accounts, and Tann kept 80% of the money that was collected, and she never reported these funds to the TCHS or to the IRS.
Shocker. Okay.
Tann literally commercialized adoption. Wealthy people wanting children provided her with a steady stream of clients. Personalities who used her service included Joan Crawford, who adopted her twins Kathy and Cynthia from Tann, but her other 2 adopted children, Christopher and Christina, came from different agencies. And I don't know if you're familiar, but Christina wrote a book called Mommy Dearest.
I have heard of
about Joan Crawford that's full of allegations of abuse at the hands of Joan Crawford.
Yeah, which is really sad.
It is really sad. June Allison, Dick Powell, Lana Turner also used the TCHS to adopt their children. The wrestler Ric Flair, I don't know if you know who that is, but he's kind of a famous old school WWE wrestler. He's all
old Hollywood shit.
Yeah, exactly. Was adopted from Tann. And New York Governor Herbert Lehman, who coincidentally signed a law in 1935 sealing birth records from New York adoptees. So he also had adopted from the TCHS, but he made sure that all those records of people adopting were sealed.
That's so dumb.
It's just all bad. There's so much corruption in this case and just sad badness.
There's so much corruption in this world.
But in this case,
specifically, it's mostly corruption.
Specifically, it's a lot. Tann also placed ads in newspapers across the country with pictures of cute babies and children up for adoption, which is disgusting. I found them. I'm like, oh my God, you have to be fucking kidding me right now. With captions reading, quote, yours for the asking, and quote, they'd like to be your Christmas gift. Every Christmas, Tann would raffle off 20 to 30 children and babies in what she called her.
She raffled them? Wait, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, hang on. Sorry. I'm a little slow today. I didn't sleep great last night. And
There are so many
This
things
is
you're
just-
like, wait, what? Repeat that?
yeah, no, exactly. My brain is like, hang on.
Yeah.
Wait, you just said what?
Every Christmas.
That she did with who? That she did to That she sent to where?
What? Every Christmas. So for decades, she did this. She would raffle off 20 to 30 children and babies in what she called her, quote, Christmas baby giveaway.
I'm sorry.
And
I can't even help but to laugh. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it's not
Like,
so...
I'm so uncomfortable. I have to
it's
laugh.
like, what the fuck?
I'm just sitting here. It's like,
What the fuck? That's disgusting.
I'm okay.
Yeah. She sold the raffle tickets for $25 a piece, and people could buy as many tickets as they wanted.
I just don't even. So what happens if you win like 25 babies? What happens if your name just keeps getting pulled?
Well, that was part of the scam. So Tann made thousands of dollars with this gimmick that she did.
Oh, she was never ever giving any babies away.
She gave away some of them. So she
gave away her inventory.
Yeah, literally what I have in my notes here. She actually only gave away a fraction of her inventory. I put in quotes inventory. So yes, that's funny and sad.
I mean, it's sad because it's a human life. It's sad because it's a life point blank period, human, animal, whatever. But she's operating it like a really shitty business, so therefore it's inventory.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's literally what I have in my notes here. That her inventory. Tann got most of the children that she had and babies through unethical means, as I said, that they were like taken from facilities and literally like taken off the side of the road and stuff. Like
that is just so disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible. In a 1937 governmental report by Emma Annie Winslow, an American home economist. Like pianist, a home
economist
and researcher who was prominent in her field found that 3 homes for unwed mothers in Memphis, in cooperation with the local health department, were committed to keep the mothers and babies for at least 3 months after birth to give the mothers time to breastfeed, especially if their plan was to give these babies up for adoption. So they would take these unwed mothers, they would house them, take care of them, the babies would be born, they would keep the mom and the baby for 3 months.
That's just so fucked up. What if you want to be a single parent?
Yeah.
I'm
getting there.
So fucked up.
It's just so fucked up. However, in the research that she did, she uncovered that all 3 homes, as a regular practice, would give the babies to the TCHS within weeks due to, quote, court commitment.
Okay.
So, because remember I said she has all these fucking people.
Yeah.
The report also said that Tann or her accomplices would collect them directly from the hospital.
So nobody thought about calling up anyone in Mississippi and being like, hey, can you tell us anything about this woman?
No, because her dad is the one that got her that job.
I know.
And he's like,
but
he's influential in politics in Mississippi. And this is in Tennessee. But it, you know, it goes.
She got like literally like banned from Mississippi.
Yeah. 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 But I mean, her dad was powerful and influential. And so it didn't really matter.
I'm just screaming. It's fine. Keep going. You just have to wonder why no one is calling, like why no one is asking questions.
It's kind of like
where did you get this baby from?
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
We're just baby harvesting. These rich people that are meeting at hotels, like they're not like, oh, do you know anything about our baby's lineage? Like,
yeah, they either did because they had the information from the mom or they faked it. Like I said, they had fake birth certificates and fake backstories.
I know, it's just fucked.
It's very fucked. The report also said that Tann or her accomplices would collect children directly from their mothers while they were still in the hospital. So babies, not children, but they would take their little babies while they were still in the hospital. And Tann would say it was to prevent health problems. She convinced the mothers that the babies were in need of medical care or it would be better to give them to her immediately for said care.
Okay.
Or she would take advantage of mothers who were still under the influence of sedation from giving birth, because back in those days, they sedated women that were in labor.
That's just even like another level of violation. Like
being sedated?
Taking a baby while a mother is sedated.
Yeah, she's a horrible, horrible person. She's a terrible person. But back in those days, they sedated women who were in labor with a combination of morphine and scopolamine, something, which that second drug that I can't pronounce clearly causes amnesia. So they would, it was normal to do it, but like they wouldn't remember childbirth and all of that. And they would be out of it, obviously. It was known as a twilight sleep.
I want one of those.
Other types of sedation that were used were chloroform or nitrous oxide.
Chloroform?
Right? Just chloroform them. Okay, push. Oh, wait,
Wow.
she can't. Then Tann would tell the mothers that their babies had died or been adopted already after she's taken them directly from their hands in the hospital.
Why would you do this case?
I just thought it was interesting.
It's just so depressing. Like, of all the cases I think that we've talked about to date right now, this is the worst one.
It's pretty bad.
I think this is the worst
And
one.
I usually don't do
hear
kids.
me out, because it's a vulnerable population that this woman is manipulating. Mary Bell and the little boy she murdered, that was horrible and awful and disgusting. I mean, they're all bad in their own way, but this is literally an adult human with a brain who went to law school.
No, she didn't go to law school.
Okay, that
She was
studied law
self-taught.
and passed the bar, that self-taught law and passed the bar, is hurting like the most vulnerable population ever,
Mm-hmm.
of the purest souls ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's so depressing.
It's really bad. And I don't know. I thought this case was interesting because I never really do stuff on kids and babies because it is depressing. But I just thought that this case was interesting. Just
no,
because
I'm not
of
actually nagging you
the
for
hierarchy,
it. It's
the
just sad.
level of corruption, the fact that it's not just like one person fucking up people. It's an entire fucking network of people fucking up people.
It's an entire network of people fucking up babies and new moms and parents.
And parents and whole families.
It's so sad.
It's so sad.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm done. I was just like, fuck.
Yeah, it's bad. In some cases, the mothers had signed the babies over for adoption even before they were born, but they were in these homes for unwed mothers, so they thought they were going to have their babies for like 3 months and be able to breastfeed them and maybe kind of, have some kind of, but then they didn't. Because she was like, okay, your baby was born. I'm here to take it.
That's so sad.
So sad. The report also said that between 1933 and 1934, there were no maternal deaths, but there was a large number of infant deaths because of a quote, epidemic at Memphis General Hospital.
Nice.
There were cases where single parents dropped off their kids at nursery school. And then when the kids get dropped off, right? Sorry, I struggle.
I struggle.
So the parents would drop off the kids at nursery school, and then welfare agents would go to the nursery school and pick up the kids and take them. In other cases, children who were temporarily placed in orphanages because the families couldn't care for them due to illness or unemployment or whatever the case was, and they wanted to just make sure their kids were taken care of while they couldn't take care of them, and they were going to come back for them. When they came back for them, they were told that their kids had either been adopted or that the orphanage never had a record of the kids ever being there in the first place.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Tann had so many connections in the political world that supported her black market adoptions. For example, if adoptive parents found out that the information that they had given on their child was incorrect, like we talked about, there's no backstory. We don't know if they have physical or mental illness, whatever, right? And she's just making shit up as she goes along.
I don't know how you can know if someone has mental illness from the jump like that.
Well, but if you
know that like the mom has like bipolar or something like that,
is
then
they're not
they have a
saying,
chance of passing something like that on, right?
But that's the thing. They're not saying, hey, this baby was taken from a lady that was in a mental institution. It's like, oh, little Rosemary was only 18 years old and couldn't care for her son, and so she gave him up for adoption. Like just bullshit stories,
Well, yeah. Duh.
So if the parents found out that they had been given incorrect information, then she would threaten legal action that would force the surrender of their child. And
gosh.
Yeah, and she absolutely can make that happen. Because the whole thing is
such
corrupt.
a disgusting person.
She's disgusting. Camille Kelly, who was an advocate, listen, for child welfare, was quoted as saying that women and mothers were the only fit people to be advocates for child welfare. In 1909, she founded the Memphis branch of the PTA, and she eventually became the chairman of the Memphis Federation of the PTA organization. She began studying state child welfare laws and child psychology. Kelly was not a lawyer, but she worked in her husband's law office for like years and years.
Okay.
So she knew a lot about the law. After he died, Memphis Mayor Rowlett Payne helped Kelly become appointed. And then later she was elected as a juvenile court judge in Shelby County, Tennessee. So she was appointed by him, even though she wasn't a lawyer. And then later she ended up getting elected. But like in the meantime, he's like, okay, you should be this judge in this precinct for this juvenile judge or juvenile court.
Okay, I was agreeing to the people who should care about about child welfare is mothers and children. I mean, obviously Georgia doesn't, but other people do, and they should.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
100%.
why I agreed to that. I mean, fathers also. Everyone should care about children's welfare.
But she was very
people are
like
bad people. So
yeah.
As we're learning in this exact moment in time,
I think we've already learned that, but we're just getting verification of that.
that people are bad people.
Yes. She served from May 1920 until 1950. Because Kelly was at first an unelected official, her rulings were the subject of multiple constitutional lawsuits brought about by parents whose children had received her sentences or been taken away. In August of 1920, enter the 19th Amendment, which
Prohibits alcohol.
granted women the right to vote.
Oh.
And in 1921, the state Tennessee legislature created an independent...
Wait, you're in 1921 right now?
I scooted forward. I'm going back and forth because I'm giving you the backstory.
I'm like, I thought we were in like 1937.
That was the report from 1937. I'm telling you about this judge.
Okay, I was like, I'm confused. Sorry.
I'm telling you about this judge
I was
and
like,
her
we were
involvement in the case.
30s. Okay.
We were. But I can't tell you about this judge before
You have to describe the judge before you can talk about her role.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. In 1921, the Tennessee state legislature created an independent municipal family court for Shelby County. Both of those events, so giving women the right to vote and the independent family municipality of that court district,
Okay.
legitimized Kelly's position on the bench, and Kelly was reelected a total of 7 times and served 3 decades on the bench. So she's first appointed and then she's actually elected.
So now we're in the 50s.
No, we're not in the 50s. No, she was known as the Little Irish Judge, and she never wore a judicial robe in court. Instead, she wore colorful dresses, jewelry, and always had a flower pinned to her dress like a corsage.
Cute.
She was quoted as saying, "Robes would scare the children to death. They're not so timid when they appear before me and see that I am wearing a flower."
Oh, gosh. She's just trying to come off as more likable to kids
Yeah,
so she can hurt them.
yeah. Judge Kelly was a
This
friend.
case is just getting worse.
Yeah, it's so not good. Judge Kelly was a friend of Tann's and used her position to help Tann traffic children and steal them from their families. Tann and her quote-unquote scouts, the people that are looking for these babies and kids, would identify children as being in homes that couldn't care for them properly. And then Kelly would then take the children from their families. And she was also very known to take custody from divorced mothers and then place these children that she's taken away from their families with the TCHS, which of course was Georgia's deal. And then they would arrange for adoptions and put them in, quote, homes better able to provide for their children's care.
Nice.
Judge Kelly would also notify Tann whenever a parent applied for assistance at the welfare department and would automatically award custody to her. So she's like,
Wow.
oh, they're applying for assistance. We got to take their kids. Dishes in the sink were enough to deem a parent unfit in her courtroom.
Yeah, that's fucked.
She is fucked. She was very narrow-minded in that she thought that single parents or poor parents were like unfit parents.
That's so sad.
It's so sad because it's not true.
No.
It is estimated that Kelly provided about 20% of the children that Tann put up for adoption.
Jeez.
Some children were not placed in better homes. Of course, as you can imagine, they ended up in bad situations where they were used as laborers on farms or with abusive families or both. But it's really all about the money. So who
Right,
cares?
so who cares?
Yeah, because she's not doing the background checks or any of that stuff. Another one of Tann's connections was E.H. Boss Crump, who had been the Memphis mayor from 1910 to 1915, and then again in 1940. And I looked up pictures of this guy because I was like trying to figure out like if he was mayor in 1910, like what was their connection, you know? Holy crap. He's a rough looking character.
Let me see.
Oh, I'm in airplane mode. I'll show you afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I gonna go, brother? Ugh.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, okay.
Is that yak?
Yeah, is that yak? So he was mayor again in 1940. Crump had resigned as mayor in 1915 to avoid being removed from the office of mayor for refusing to enforce prohibition laws in Memphis. But he was very influential in politics in the entire state, not just in Memphis. And he was known to take bribes to ignore illegal activity of brothels and gambling halls and speakeasies and all of that.
Okay.
So Tann used this fact to her advantage, and in exchange for kickbacks, Crump would offer protection by providing false witnesses to testify in Tann's favor. And when complaints arose, he helped seal adoptions by influencing the Tennessee adoption legislature.
Wow.
Yeah. Tann and Kelly's operation had the protection of Crump, and both women were Crump favorites.
Shocker.
Kelly always went out of her way to praise and flatter Crump, and Tann, of course, was giving him money. So I love these gals. Because of their political influence, they were able to block adoption reforms in the legislature and exempt Tann's operation from state regulation.
Okay.
So
Shocked.
fucked up.
This is all just fucked up. This whole thing is fucked up.
Abe Waldauer, who was, if you remember, Tann's lawyer, was also allowed to amend adoption bills to his liking behind the scenes in the state of Tennessee.
Wow.
She maintained a very lavish lifestyle and was well respected in the community. She kept company with prominent families, politicians, legislators, and all of this, of course, made her pretty fucking untouchable.
This is making me like so sad.
She's so sad. While in her care, the children were mistreated by Tann, shocker, with reports of neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, and even murder. With no housing facilities, the TCHS held children awaiting placement in public facilities and in foster homes.
They need to dig up her yard.
Yeah. In the 1930s, Memphis had the highest infant mortality rate in the nation. And that is believed mainly it was due to Tann and her unethical treatment and lack of care of the babies. And these are just the deaths that she reported. And who knows how many she didn't report. Number one in the country from one single fucking person.
Yeah.
Tann destroyed records of adoptions that had been processed through the TCHS and neglected to do background checks on children who were part of legitimate adoptions. So these $7 adoptions through the state of Tennessee, she didn't even deal with that shit. Like what was her actual job, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do that, which is not surprising, I know.
No,
because
she only cares about the profit.
Yeah. Because of this, the Child Welfare League of America dropped the TCHS from its list of qualifying institutions in 1941.
Good. Well, that should at least tell you something. If you were
should tell you
smart and did
something.
any kind of your
But it takes a while.
Things.
It takes us a while to get there. So this is from Judge Sam Bates. He said the Children's Tennessee Home, and he was one of the ones that was bringing attention to this situation.
Okay, so he's a good one in the
Yeah,
case.
he's not corrupt.
Okay.
The Tennessee Children's Home Society has been dropped from the child. He wrote this, or he said this. So this is
this is straight from his mouth.
yeah. So however I'm saying it is how he said it. So if it's what? Okay. The Tennessee
quote.
The Tennessee Children's Home Society has been dropped from the Child Welfare League of America because of its repeated failure to have homes of foster parents investigated prior to the placement of children for adoption. Because the Tennessee Children's Home Society had failed to study the children and their heritage before placing them for adoption, because of the failure of the society to select proper homes for the children placed for adoption, because the foster parents had been permitted to select the child of their choice rather than placing the children in the home best suited for the child, because the home had engaged in advertising children for adoption and it had encouraged hasty placements in disregard of children's right to protection from commercial advertising, and because the society had engaged in interstate placement of children at long distances from status of the society, which prevented careful home findings and suitable supervision pending adoption.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's just awful, terrible.
Yeah.
And
Well,
at least people are starting to
block
recognize it. Yeah. In 1943, a wealthy businessman donated his mansion at 1556 Poplar Avenue to the TCHS. Yep, she's still influential. The offices and intake rooms were on the main floor and the nurseries were upstairs. Tann maintained such a high level of deceit.
Yeah.
Yeah. At her facility, yeah.
Yeah.
At her facility, all the women
Duh.
wore white nurses' uniforms. So
Jeez.
giving the facade that they're nurses, even though for the most part, they were untrained and they were even known substance abusers who she could like hire for cheap.
Jeez.
Yeah. Children were sedated and the more difficult to manage were neglected to the point that they died from malnutrition.
Aw.
She ignored doctors' recommendations on a regular basis, denying sick babies and children of medical care and of medicine needed to treat their symptoms.
Of course, she doesn't care about them. She just cares about what she can make from them.
The money.
If they cost her anything, then it's like, that sucks.
Yeah. There were
Somebody go dig a hole.
Yeah. There were so many preventable deaths from things as easy to treat as diarrhea or fevers. Shit that no big deal. Take care of it.
Right.
But nope.
I don't know, clean water.
Then they die. Some of these victims are buried in the Elmwood Cemetery in Memphis, but others, of course, have never been accounted for. And the exact deaths that Tann is responsible for is unknown, but it's estimated to be around 500 children due to neglect and mistreatment.
That was lower than I was expecting. Not
Yeah,
good.
it is, right? But I think, like I said, that's how many are not reported. Like how many have, you know what I mean? That's just what they know of from documentation.
It's the estimated number
Mhm.
from documentation, not the unreported
Probably not
volumes.
the actual number, yeah. In the
Right,
late
that's why I said look in her yard. Dig up her yard.
Dig up her yard. In the late 1940s, lawmakers began to investigate the circumstances surrounding these adoptions. By this time, Tann was the head of the Adopted Children's Association of America.
You just know that house is haunted as fuck.
That children's home? That was, yeah.
Well, all of these spaces.
Not her
where these
home.
poor
She didn't
kids-
take any kids home to her house.
No.
At this time,
Hopefully she was being followed, though, by little kids' ghosts and
Hopefully.
being fucked with.
hopefully, at this time, black market adoptions were not illegal, but they're considered unethical and immoral, even though they're
Yeah.
not illegal at this time.
Well, as they should be. I'm sure that they still probably aren't that illegal today. I'm sure it still happens.
Oh, I'm sure it does. These black market adoptions were made even more despicable, knowing that unwed mothers were coerced into giving their children up for adoption, even if they wanted to and could care for the children. Parents' suitability was totally ignored, and information about the children's heritage and medical history was quote unquote lost. And adoptive parents were never told about any history of physical or mental illness. And of course, they were never told that their children had been stolen.
This is just
Horrific.
I want to say it blows my mind, but at this point, it doesn't.
No. In 1947.
And it should never blow my mind anyway, because we know how corrupt shit is. It's just disgusting when it gets brought to the surface. It's disgusting that it happens. It's sad when it gets brought to the surface and you know about it.
Mhm.
I don't think it makes it worse, but knowing about ignorance is bliss in some of these cases.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. In 1947, a letter from Tann's attorney, and just FYI, I started working on this case a long time ago, and then I just couldn't keep doing it. I had to go away from it. And then I was like, I really just need to do it because it's very interesting, although horrible.
Horrific.
But interesting. In 1947, a letter from Tann's attorney, Abe Waldauer,
Good old Abe.
argued the point that if children were inappropriately placed, saying that the perspective of the adoptive couple had, quote, this is in the letter, complete custody and control of a child for 1 year and may submit the child to any physical or mental examination they wish and take any steps they desire to ascertain they have a healthy and normal child. If it is not, the Tennessee Children's Home takes it back without question. Love how he uses the word it for the kids.
Right.
Yeah. If it's not, then they'll take it back.
Yeah.
He's
Not the child.
No, he's right there with her.
Well, yeah, of course he is. He's her lawyer.
Yeah. In response to
He's equally, if not more corrupt, since he's her lawyer.
well, and he knows what's going on.
Right. That's why he's more corrupt.
In response to complaints by Judge Sam Bates, he's the one that I read that thing from earlier. Yeah. Remember? Yeah. Okay. And the families that were blackmailed by Tann, Governor Gordon Browning, Crump's nemesis, if you will, appointed a young Memphis lawyer by the name of Robert L. Taylor.
Good. Crump's nemesis? That's great, actually.
Yes. To investigate. 2 days after assigning the attorney to the case, it was
never seen again.
No, it was national news.
Oh, good. I was afraid that they were going to kill him.
Well, it wouldn't be a surprise, but right? No, it would be fitting. 2 days after they assigned an attorney to the case, then it became national news.
Hit the fan.
His astonishing, but this is in, what did I say? This was in
1947?
No, this is in 1950. So it's all coming to a head. His astonishing report released in late 1950 concluded that babies and children were being seized by the courts or literally stolen and then sold for profit. Tann's financial records were very chaotic, which led to finding the secret bank accounts with high dollar amounts in each account.
Jeez.
It was estimated that Tann and her accomplices made over $1 million in profits from these adoptions. And that's like 12 million today.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's why I said 11, but oops. Just because I looked at the conversion. But so over $1 million. And that's just the money that they could trace, because I'm sure there's a bunch of money they couldn't trace, you know?
Well, yeah, because she's not reporting funds to anywhere.
Right. But they found these secret bank accounts that hadn't been reported and stuff. So the money that's in these accounts.
Right. But the money spent, all the shit.
Yeah. Taylor won a chancery injunction securing TCHS records, but the files were removed by Abe Waldauer.
Of course they were.
So, and a chancery injunction is anything related to money. So because they found these bank accounts, he was able to be like, well, hey, obviously it's tied to these adoptions, so I want to get these records.
Yeah, but
her lawyer went in and got rid of them as soon as that injunction came. You know, as soon as that injunction happened, he went like that night and got rid of the shit.
Right. And these are all paper trails.
Mm-hmm, it's all paper trails. Taylor had a very limited budget and had only limited authority to investigate and expose the whole thing. In addition, Governor Browning forbade him from questioning Tann or her staff. And he's the one that told them to investigate anyway. So it's weird because he's getting all these reports from this judge and from families and stuff that are like, man, you need to check into this. Like, is there anything we can do? And he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to do that.
They took our kid for having dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
That's our kid.
And this lawyer.
What the fuck?
This lawyer that's like a bulldog who's like a young guy is on the case and like, oh my God, finding this and finding that. And the governor's like, cool, but back it up
about it.
Pump the brakes a little bit. Browning said that he, quote, did not want a reputation for prosecuting old ladies.
Wow.
Tann and Kelly's allies also killed a bill in the General Assembly to grant Taylor broader powers, go figure. And prominent people in Memphis blackmailed over their adopted children did not want to testify in public because they didn't want the publicity of it.
No.
And now we're getting to the good part.
Okay, thank God.
Tann died from uterine cancer on September 15th, 1950.
Good.
It is widely believed that
Bye, bitch.
It is widely believed that her cancer had been untreated and maybe even undiagnosed. And once she got sick from the cancer, her decline was like really quick.
Good.
Super rapid.
Bye, bitch. I hope she suffered.
Charges were to be filed against her 3 days after her death. So they were planning on filing charges against her on the 18th of September, but she died on the 15th.
A little late, but at least she hopefully suffered.
I hope so. I think she did.
Good.
I think
that sounds really painful.
It does.
So I hope,
and especially if it's if it's not treated, you know.
Yeah. Sounds like she got what she deserved, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Little karma.
Especially uterine cancer.
A little karma, right? But obviously, since she died, she wasn't ever formally charged.
No. Okay, but what about Anne?
In her will, well, Anne isn't part of it. I'm sure she knows what's going on, but she doesn't participate. So in her will, she left all of her money and property to her mother and her adopted daughter, Anne Atwood Hollinsworth.
Is that a different kid?
Nope. It's her.
They just changed June Ann's name?
No, it's that Anne Atwood.
Oh, what?
I'm gonna do my splaining, Lucy. Okay, way back in March.
Not to her daughter that she adopted.
Not to her daughter. Way back in March of 1925, Anne placed an announcement in a local paper that said she had secretly married Captain George A. Hollinsworth of San Francisco, California, and that they would be moving there. And it was at that time that she started going by Mrs. Hollinsworth. But state records indicate that she never left Memphis. So it was just like, you know.
It was a front.
Yeah, an attempt to cover the nature of their relationship because they were a couple, and obviously that wasn't cool.
That was a big fat no-no in those days.
But Tann adopted Anne August 2nd, 1943 in Dyer County, Tennessee, also to hide the true nature of their relationship and to make sure that Anne was able to inherit her estate.
Just adopt an adult. Sure.
Like, yeah, she's 48.
Can I get adopted by a very rich family, please?
She's 48, but I want to adopt her.
Right?
Legally. Yeah.
Oh my God. Actually, you know what? This is so fucked up. This actually happened. I saw this thing online one day. Someone sent it to me. I can't remember. About this guy that was like not an old man, probably like in his 30s or 40s. And this couple adopted him as like a baby. And they like take care of him like he's like a little baby, but he's like a grown ass person.
That's creepy.
It's so weird. And he like had a wife and kids and stuff and then just decided he was like not going to do that anymore.
So fucking weird.
People are odd as fuck.
Yeah, they are. I could have gone my whole life without hearing that. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know if I'm like the most normal human ever, but
Probably
like
not.
I don't do shit like that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's really crazy.
Yeah.
It's like beyond, but that's what just happened here.
Right? You're like, wait, what? Her daughter, June Ann, she changed it. No, her lover.
Her woman.
Her woman, yes. She adopted her woman.
That's so odd.
So weird. Judge Kelly was investigated by Taylor for using her judgeship to aid Tann's ongoing adoption fraud conducted under the guise of the TCHS. In November of 1950, Taylor tape recorded Kelly bribing a juvenile court employee not to implicate her. Confronted with the evidence, Kelly was told by the powers that be that the investigation would end if she resigned. And so she resigned in less than 24 hours. And since Tann had died of cancer, just as the scandal was breaking, no one was ever held accountable for these crimes.
Not even Shelley.
Who's Shelley?
Shelby.
Shelby County?
The woman?
What woman?
The judge?
That's what I'm saying. The judge didn't get... No.
Isn't that her name? Shelby?
Kelly. Judge Kelly.
Oh,
I literally
Kelly.
Just said Judge
Sorry.
Kelly.
I'm like, this is just all just too much. My brain is
it's a
trying
lot.
to process this, and it's a lot of information.
It is a lot.
That you're throwing at me. Okay, so Judge Kelly did nothing. Like she didn't get like disbarred, like moved.
Well, she
demoted.
wasn't ever officially. She wasn't a lawyer,
I know,
so
but
she
they
couldn't
never
get.
kicked her off.
Yeah, well, they told her. They're like, "Hey, we have a tape recording of you fucking trying to bribe this juvenile court employee not to say anything about you because they know you're being investigated, and we're investigating by asking people fucking questions." And so she went to this person and said, "Hey, don't say anything."
Right.
But it was recorded. And so Taylor, that lawyer that was hired by the governor, went and said, "Hey, I have this fucking tape. But remember, he doesn't have any money to do anything with, nor does he have any real power to do anything because the governor doesn't want to really be punishing old ladies."
Just threatening her.
So he tells her, "I have this recording and
Step down.
resign, and then we'll stop the investigation." Okay. So
Okay.
all coming together now. So she resigned in less than 24 hours.
Good bitch.
Yeah. Although Judge Kelly lived what seemed beyond her means, having a new Cadillac every year, going on vacations, having like really nice shit for a judge that made $300 a month. She was investigated for receiving bribes from Tann to rule in Tann's favor. But in a 1951 report by the Tennessee Department of Public Welfare, they said that while Judge Kelly had, quote, failed on so many occasions to aid destitute families and permitted family ties to be destroyed, that she had not personally profited from any of the rulings. Because I guess they couldn't really find any money that she had taken
Because
from
she
Tann.
spent it.
Because she spent it, right. Or she had it in a fucking offshore
Her new
account or some shit.
Cadillac.
But so this is 1950, 1951, and then this lady died in 1955. So
Kelly did?
mhm.
Good bitch.
Yes. The state took control
I
of...
shouldn't wish death on all these people and say that they suffered, but God, the things that they carried out.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't... I mean, Tann obviously probably suffered, but I think Judge Kelly was old. So, I don't know. Just sucks. The state took control of the TCHS and closed it in 1951, which, for good reason, because the state can take it over and make it all the things they want it to be, but it's going to forever be tainted by this scandal.
Okay.
And so they're like, yeah, we're just going to scrap it and start over with something different. Okay. I saw a clip from a 60 Minutes episode from 1992 because I was trying to find stuff about survivors of this woman.
I was just about to ask you if you have any stories.
Yeah, a couple. So this episode from 60 Minutes from 1992 showed a mother and son reunited after 48 years. And the woman was interviewed, and Mary Reed was intimidated by Tann as an unwed mother while still under the influence of anesthesia. And she was told to sign some papers. And then Tann told Mary she would look after her baby until she got out of the hospital. And when she was released from the hospital, she went to the TCHS to get her son, but she was turned away and she was given no information, no paperwork, no nothing.
Of course.
She sued the TCHS, but she lost in court because she'd signed the papers.
Because she was coerced into it.
Yeah, she was coerced into it. And she was a single mother, so of course it was ruled, against her.
Right.
So, because I think it was in the 30s.
Okay. But they reunited?
They reunited when, he was 48 years old. And he said, well, I'll get there in a second. So in the same episode, there was a woman who was ripped from a happy home along with all of her siblings, and they were all put up for adoption separately.
Aw, how old were they?
They were ranging from 4 to 11, I think.
So they didn't wind up in good situations.
I don't know, but
I doubt it. They're probably farmhands and
maybe the older ones. So there were letters in court records that the mother had written pleading to get her children back. And since the woman has been reunited with some of her siblings, but by the time she found what she was looking for and making progress, finding court records and all that, both of her parents were gone.
Aww.
So, and both of these people said that they never knew that they were victims of a black market adoption ring. And that guy from the first thing where the mother signed it under duress, or under anesthesia and duress.
Right.
But anyway, the guy said that he knew that he was adopted, but he never bothered to search for his parents because he thought he was unwanted. But then he read an article in a magazine talking about the TCHS scandal, and he was just floored because he knew that that's where he'd been adopted from.
That's so sad.
So then at that point, he was he started to investigate, and then that's when he found his mom.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's good that he found her.
It is. And there were some other stories, but they didn't have I don't know. They weren't in that 60 Minutes episode. And when you
weren't full stories.
Yeah. When you Google it, it was Norma Ann, blah, 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 was taken at 13 days old. And that's it. It's
okay.
Oh, and what happened to Norma Sue? It was actually Norma Sue, but there's no last name, so you can't look, and on and on. But over several decades, only 19 of the children who died at the TCHS due to abuse or neglect that Tann had subjected them to were buried in a 14 by 13 foot lot at the historic Elmwood Cemetery with no headstones. Tann had bought the lot sometime before 1923 and recorded the children there by their first names, such as baby Estelle or baby Joseph. So, but only 19. And they're saying she's responsible for at least 500.
Well, I'm sure some are buried in her yard.
Yeah.
In other people's yards.
So
that are involved,
Yeah.
In the yard of this estate that was donated to them.
Yeah. Or if I don't know, she's
burned.
Reporting the death, so maybe cremated legally, but there's no records,
Right.
So in 2015, the cemetery raised $13,000 to erect a monument to the children's memories. And it reads in part, in memory of the 19 children who finally rest here, unmarked if not unknown, and all of the hundreds who died under the cold, hard hand of the TCHS, their final resting place unknown, their final peace a blessing. The hard lesson of their fate changed adoption procedures and laws nationwide.
Good.
That's it. Yeah, because after that, there was huge adoption reform laws and stuff like that. That Tann scandal, TCHS, it tripped a whole domino effect of making sure that shit was regulated and that people were actually investigating foster care and investigating adoptive parents and that babies weren't just being sold to the highest bidder.
And babies weren't being snatched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure it still happens, and I'm sure they still were, but there was no legislation. There was nobody
Protection
being
for the women.
yeah,
no
for the women
protection
or
for
the children or
families.
anything. Like nobody was being held accountable, and this fucking judge was like, you don't have any money and you have dishes in the sink, so we're taking your children.
Right. Well, and I'm sure that there's people who were adopting with the best intentions of like, we've been trying, we can't have a kid.
Yeah, for sure. There were people who definitely, but yeah. I mean, so they got the baby that they wanted, but they never got, I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure in some cases the babies were legitimately put up for adoption. But if they're saying she stole an estimated 5,000 babies and children,
Yeah, that's so fucked
that's
up.
5,000 of them that were not legally surrendered. Or like they said, like they drop them off at nursery school, and then the nursery school calls a welfare agent and was like, oh, these kids came in dirty today. And the welfare agent comes and takes them, and then they go to that Judge Camille's court, Judge Kelly, because she would also funnel these cases into her courtroom. Like she would see them.
because she's taking profit from it.
Yeah. She would see them and she'd be like, oh, I'll take that case. I'll take that case. So, and then she'd be like, okay, well, we're going to take them away from their family, and then we're going to surrender them to the TCHS, and you've lost all of your parental rights.
You said this building still stands, yeah?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. The one that the guy donated.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if it does or not.
Like, I bet it's haunted as fuck.
It's just so sad.
Yeah. It's why I bet it's haunted as fuck.
I don't know. Probably. I didn't look at the haunting factor of it. I just obviously did the research on this story.
Yeah, well, shit like that, it's bound to be haunted. That's why I said that, because it's people who were abused, right? They're basically being murdered.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether they were killed by someone's physical hand or just not fed a nourishing diet.
So I guess
They're
I don't have
murdered.
to ask you how you feel, because you've been saying it the whole time.
That it's horrible and
That it's
awful and
awful,
devastating and heartbreaking.
so fucked up. And why did I bring this to you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why did you ruin my day?
Sorry. At least it's almost over-ish.
It's 1:00. It's not totally over yet. I still have hours to go. I still have a meeting at 5:30 tonight and have to go to the vet with you. You're going to the vet with me and all the things.
All of the things. Anyway, so that's it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
You can follow us on our Instagram at That's Disturbing Podcast if you want to see this nasty bitch's face when the time that this episode comes out, and look at her and spit on her too. And you go find her grave and spit on her grave also.
Yeah.
Because ew, this bitch sucks. And if you want any other gross, disturbing cases that I might yak at, you can send them to either our Instagram. You can send us a DM there, or you can send us a Gmail, an email. Same thing. We just have a Gmail account.
Some electronic mail.
Yeah, some electronic mail. That's disturbingpodcast@gmail.com. Casey asked for us to link the Facebook page on the link tree. I'm going to attempt to do that. Just the last time I tried to fuck with the link tree, it was we were like at our max limits for a free account, and since we don't get paid, I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay for it, so we might have to like remove a different link. I don't know. We'll see. TBD. Yeah, that's all.
All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.